Hello everyone, welcome to National Standard Examination in Physics 2013. A certain quantity of oxygen gamma equal to 7 by 5 initially at a pressure P1 is compressed isothermally until its pressure is doubled to P2. The gas is then allowed to expand adiabatically until its original volume is restored. Then the final pressure P3 in terms of the initial pressure P1 is. For isothermal compression, P1 V1 equal to P2 V2. That is P1 V1 equal to 2P1 V2, from where we get V2 equal to V1 by 2. For adiabatic expansion, P2 V2 power gamma equal to P3 V3 power gamma, that is 2P1 V1 by 2 whole power gamma equal to P3 V1 power gamma, from where we have P3 equal to 0.76 P1. A car fitted with a device which transmits sound 60 times per minute. There is no wind and speed of sound in still air is 345 meter per second. If you hear this sound 68 times per minute when you are moving towards the car with a speed of 12 meter per second, the speed of the car must be nearly. Original frequency of the car, it is 60 per minute. Frequency received by the observer is 68 per minute. Apparent frequency when the source and observer are moving towards each other, Na equal to V plus V naught by V minus Vs into N, which gives us V source equal to 30 meter per second. A 43 meter long rope of mass 5 kg joins two rock climbers. One climber strikes the rope and the second one feels the effect 1.4 seconds later. What is the tension in the rope? Length of the rope L equal to 43 meter and mass of the rope M equal to 5 kg. Linear density of the rope thus will be 5 by 43 kg per meter. Speed of the wave pulse V equal to L by T, that is 43 by 1.4, 30.7 meter per second. Speed of wave on a rope is given by V equal to root T by mu, where T is a tension in the string and mu is linear density. Upon substituting the values, we get tension in the string to be 110 Newton. Two cats in a house mew at each other with sound intensities 5 into 10 power minus 9 watt per meter square and 9 into 10 power minus 6 watt per meter square. By how many decibels is the louder sound above the other? Intensity of the first sound I1 equal to 5 into 10 power minus 9 watt per meter square. Intensity of the second sound I2 equal to 9 into 10 power minus 6 watt per meter square. Sound level of the first sound beta 1 equal to 10 log I1 by I0, which is 10 log 5 into 10 power minus 9 by I0. Sound level of the second sound beta 2 equal to 10 log I2 by I0, that is 10 log 9 into 10 power minus 6 by I0. Difference in loudness of the two sounds beta 2 minus beta 1 is 10 log 9 into 10 power minus 6 by 5 into 10 power minus 9. Upon simplification comes out to be 33 decibels. An electron orbiting a nucleus has an angular momentum capital L. The magnetic field produced by the electron at the center of the orbit can be expressed as angular momentum of the particle in circular path L equal to mvr, that is mr square omega. Current in the orbit due to the electron movement I equal to q by t, that is E by 2 pi by omega, that simplifies to E by 2 pi L by mr square. So the magnetic field at the center of the circle mu naught I by 2r, so it is mu naught by 2r E by 2 pi L by mr square. Upon rearranging the terms, we have mu naught E by 4 pi mr cube into L. Suppose a radioactive nucleus A disintegrates at origin into nucleus B with emission of a positron E plus and a neutrino nu, such that the positron and neutrino move at right angles to each other and carry momentum 2 into 10 power minus 22 kg meter per second along positive y-axis and 5 into 10 power minus 23 kg meter per second along positive x-axis respectively. Then the nucleus. Initial momentum of the radioactive nucleus is 0. Final momentum of the fragments, let us say P final, can be written as Pb plus Pe plus P neutrino. So that is Pb plus 2 into 10 power minus 22 j cap plus 5 into 10 power minus 23 I cap. Applying conservation of linear momentum, P initial equal to P final, we have 0 equal to Pb plus 2 into 10 power minus 22 j cap plus 5 into 10 power minus 23 I cap, which gives us Pb equal to 2.06 into 10 power minus 22 kg meter per second. Angle with negative x-axis is 90 minus tan inverse 2 into 10 power minus 22 by 0.5 into 10 power minus 22, that is 14.03 degrees. So the correct option is B. Two identical strings with fixed ends separated by a height h have their other ends tied to a body P of mass m as shown in figure. When the body rotates with uniform angular speed 2 root 2g by h in horizontal plane about the vertical axis, the ratio of tensions T1 by T2 in this string is. For vertical direction, T1 cos theta equal to T2 cos theta plus mg, that is T1 minus T2 of cos theta equal to mg. For horizontal direction, T1 sin theta plus T2 sin theta equal to mr omega square, that is T1 plus T2 of sin theta equal to mr omega square. Taking the ratio of the two expressions, T1 plus T2 by T1 minus T2 tan theta equal to mr omega square by mg, which is 8r by h. So T1 plus T2 by T1 minus T2 into 2r by h equal to 8r by h, which gives us T1 plus T2 by T1 minus T2 equal to 4 by 1. Applying componendo and dividendo, we have T1 by T2 equal to 5 by 3. Two identical bodies M2 and M3 each of 4 kg are tied to a massless inextensible string which is made to pass around pulleys P1 and P2 as shown in figure. Angle ABC is 37 degrees. The coefficient of friction between the bodies and the surface on which they slide is 0.25. If the body M1 moves down with uniform speed, neglecting the masses and friction of the pulley, M1 is equal to. For the hanging block, we can write M1G minus T equal to M1A, that is M1 into 0. The block is moving down with uniform speed. So from there we get T equal to M1G. For the block on the horizontal surface, T1 minus frictional force equal to M3 into 0, from which we get T1 equal to F, that is mu times M3G, which comes out to be 9.8 Newton. For the block on the inclined plane, we can write T minus T1 minus M2G sin 37 minus F equal to M2 into 0, which gives us T equal to T1 plus 3 by 5 M2G plus 4 by 5 mu M2G. Upon simplifying, we get M1 equal to 4.2 kg. A particle of mass 0.2 kg moves along a path given by the relation r bar equal to 2 cos omega t I cap plus 3 sin omega t j cap. Then the torque on the particle about the origin is. Position vector of the particle r bar equal to 2 cos omega t I cap plus 3 sin omega t j cap. Velocity of the particle v bar equal to dr bar by dt, that is minus 2 omega sin omega t I cap plus 3 omega cos omega t j cap. Acceleration of the particle is dv bar by dt, that is minus 2 omega square cos omega t I cap minus 3 omega square sin omega t j cap. Force acting on the particle F bar equal to ma bar 0.2 into minus 2 omega square cos omega t I cap minus 3 omega square sin omega t j cap. Torque about origin tau bar equal to r bar cross F bar. Carry out the cross product to see the torque acting to be 0. A bead of mass 5 gram can move without friction on a piece of wire bent in the form of a semicircular ring of radius 0.1 meter as shown in figure. This ring can freely rotate about a vertical axis OY. At what height will the bead stay above the ground level OX if the semicircular wire revolves with an angular velocity of 10.63 radian per second? For equilibrium of the bead, n cos theta equal to mg and n sin theta equal to mr omega square. Dividing the two expressions, we have tan theta equal to r omega square by g, that is capital R sin theta omega square by g, which gives us 1 by cos theta equal to r omega square by g. From there cos theta equal to g by r omega square. Upon rearranging the terms, we have h equal to r minus g by omega square. Put the numerical values to get the value of h to be 0.013 meter. One of the flat surfaces of a cylinder, radius r and length l, and flat surface of a hemisphere are cemented together. The cylinder and the hemisphere are made up of same material. The combined mass of the system is capital M. The moment of inertia of the system about an axis coinciding with the axis of the cylinder is. Moment of inertia of the cylinder is mr square by 2, that is pi r square L rho into r square by 2. Moment of inertia of the hemisphere is 2/5 of capital M minus small m into r square, which comes out to be 2/5 of r square into 2/3 pi r cube rho. The total moment of inertia is I cylinder plus I hemisphere, that is mr square by 2 plus 2/5 of m minus m r square. Let us write the masses in terms of volume and density. Get the final value as 1/10 mr square into 15L plus 8R by 3L plus 2R. The radius of cross section of a long pipe varies gradually as r equal to r0 e power minus alpha x, where x is the distance from the pipe and alpha is 0.4 meter inverse is a constant. Then the ratio of Reynolds number for the cross sections separated by a distance 8 meter is. Radius of cross section of the long pipe r equal to r0 e power minus alpha x. Reynolds number Re equal to rho v r by mu, where mu is coefficient of dynamic viscosity. So Re equal to rho v r by mu, that is rho v r by mu into pi r by pi r. That gives rho av by mu pi r, where av is volume flux which is constant. From there we can write Reynolds number is proportional to 1 by r. So Re1 by Re2 equal to R2 by R1. So Re1 by Re2 equal to R0 e power minus alpha x1 by R0 e power minus alpha x2, that is e power alpha times x2 minus x1. The numerical values to get the answer as 24.5. The pitot tube shown in figure is used to measure fluid velocity in a pipe of cross-sectional area S. It was invented by French engineer Henri Pitot in early 18th century. The volume of the gas flowing across the section of the pipe per unit time is. The difference in the liquid columns is delta H. Rho naught and rho are the densities of liquid and gas respectively. Difference in pressure delta P equal to rho naught GH. Kinetic energy per unit volume is half rho v square. So half rho v square equal to rho naught GH from Bernoulli's equation. Rearrange the terms to get v equal to root of 2 times delta H rho naught G by rho. Volume of the gas flowing across the given cross section of the pipe per unit time is volume rate of flow Q equal to V into area of cross section, which is given to be S here. So it is S times square root of 2 delta H rho naught G by rho. A thin ring has a radius r, density rho and Young's modulus y. The ring is rotated in its own plane about an axis passing through its center with an angular velocity omega. Then the small increase in its radius is. Consider a small section of the ring dl equal to r d theta. Mass of the elemental ring dm equal to rho dv, that is rho times a into dl, that is rho times ar d theta. Centripetal force is dm r omega square, which is provided by sin theta component of tension. So dm r omega square equal to 2t sin d theta by 2, which gives us t d theta. Here we have used small angle approximation that sin theta is equal to theta. Rho times ar d theta r omega square equal to t d theta, which gives t equal to rho a r square omega square. Applying Young's modulus formula, y equal to fl by a delta l, we have y equal to tr by a delta r. From there delta r equal to tr by ay. Put the value of t to get the answer as rho omega square r cube by y. A uniform metal wire is clamped by chuck nuts at the two ends as shown in figure. The wire has a cross-sectional area A, length L and density ρ. A weight W is suspended from the midpoint of the wire, then the vertical displacement delta through which the midpoint moves down is given by increase in length of the wire, delta L equal to L by 2 cosecant theta minus L by 2. That is L by 2 of cosecant theta minus 1, which can be written as L by 2 times root of L by 2 whole square plus delta square by L by 2 minus 1. See the diagram. For equilibrium, weight equal to 2t cos theta, from which we get t equal to W by 2 secant theta, that is W by 2 times root of L by 2 whole square plus delta square by delta. Young's modulus y equal to FL by A delta L, that is TL by A delta L, that is W2 times root of L by 2 whole square plus delta square by delta into L by A times L by 2 times L by 2 whole square plus delta square under root by L by 2 minus 1. Apply the definition of Young's modulus and simplify the terms to get delta equal to L by 2 times W by AY whole power 1 by 3. Two bodies of masses m1 and m2 are kept separated by distance d. The potential at the point where the gravitational field produced by them is 0 is. Location of null point from m1 is x equal to d by 1 plus root m2 by m1. Gravitational potential due to point mass Vg equal to minus gm by r. So the gravitational potential due to 2 point masses Vg equal to minus gm1 by x minus gm2 by d minus x. Upon simplification, we get Vg equal to minus g by d m1 plus m2 plus 2 root m1 m2. A ball dropped on ground from a height of 1 meter rises to a height of 75 centimeter on rebounds. When thrown down from the same height with a velocity of 2 meter per second, it would rise to coefficient of restitution E equal to root of h by capital H, that is root of 75 by 100, which is root of 3 by 4. Velocity of the body before striking the ground V equal to root of u square plus 2gh, that is root of 4 plus 2 into 10 into 1, that is root of 24 meter per second. Coefficient of restitution E equal to relative velocity of separation by relative velocity of approach, which comes out to be V by V. So capital V equal to E times small v, that is root 3 by 4 times root 24, which is root 18. So the maximum height attained by the ball h equal to v square by 2g, that is 18 by 20.9 meter or 90 centimeter. A metal body of density 8000 kg per meter cube has a cavity inside. A spring balance shows its mass to be 10 kg in air and 7.5 kg when immersed in water. The ratio of volume of the cavity to the volume of the material of the body is. Density of the metal body rho equal to 8000 kg. Mass of the metal body in air is 10 kg. Mass can be written as volume into density, so the volume of the metal minus volume of cavity into rho equal to 10, that is V minus Vc equal to 10 by rho, that is 1 by 800. Mass of the metal body in water is 7.5 kg, so the buoyancy force is 10 minus 7.5 into g, which is 25 Newton. So the buoyancy force also is given as volume of displaced liquid into rho liquid into g. So 25 equal to V into 1000 into 10, which gives us V equal to 1 by 400. Taking the ratio V minus Vc by V equal to 1 by 2, from which we get Vc by V equal to 1 by 2. In a steel factory, it is found that to maintain m kg of iron in the molten state at its melting point, an input power of P watt is required. When the power source is turned off, the sample completely solidifies in time t seconds. The latent heat of fusion of iron is. Mass of the iron is m kg. Input power required to maintain the iron in molten state is P. Time taken for the iron to solidify is T. Applying latent heat formula L equal to Q by M, we get Q equal to ml, Pt equal to ml, L equal to Pt by M, where P is power, T is time and M is mass. A laser source of heat of power 1.2 watt is placed very close to one end of a rod of cross-sectional area 3 cm square and thermal conductivity 400 watt per meter Kelvin. Then the length of the rod L required to maintain a temperature difference of 10 degrees centigrade across its ends is. Assume that all power emitted by the source falls on the rod. Power of laser source is 1.2 watt. Area of cross section is 3 into 10 power minus 4 meter square. Coefficient of thermal conductivity is 400 watt per meter Kelvin. The temperature difference required is 10 degrees centigrade. For conduction of heat, we can write dq by dt equal to Ka into delta theta by L. So 1.2 equal to 400 into 3 into 10 power minus 4 into 10 by L, which gives us L equal to 1 meter. The temperature at which average de Broglie wavelength of helium atom becomes 0.5 nanometer is. De Broglie wavelength of a particle lambda equal to h by p, that is h by root of 2mk, that is h by root of 2m into 3 by 2 kbt. Ultimately, it is h by root of 3m kbt, where m is mass, kb is Boltzmann's constant, T is absolute temperature. Put the numerical values into the formula and simplify to get T equal to 6.6 Kelvin. In a steel factory, it is found that to maintain m kg of iron in the molten state at its melting point, an input power of p watt is required. When the power source is turned off, the sample completely solidifies in time t seconds. The latent heat of fusion of iron is. Mass of the iron is m kg. Input power required to maintain the iron in molten state is P. Time taken for the iron to solidify is T. Applying latent heat formula L equal to Q by M, we get Q equal to ml, Pt equal to ml, L equal to Pt by M, where P is power, T is time and M is mass. When two ends of a spring are pulled apart increasing its length, it produces force equal to Kx at its ends. At a point 1/4 of its length from one end, the force is. Mass of the spring is not mentioned, so it is to be taken as massless. In the case of an ideal spring, tension developed anywhere in the spring is transmitted throughout without any change. So the force at a point 1/4 of its length from one end is 1.0 kx. Two semicircular wires of radius 20 cm and 10 cm have a common center at the origin O as shown in figure. Assume that both the wires are uniformly charged and have an equal charge of 0.7 nanocoulomb each. The magnitude of electric field at the common center of curvature O of the system is. Electric field intensity due to semicircle E equal to 1 by 2 pi epsilon naught lambda by r, that is 1 by 2 pi epsilon naught Q by r into L. Here L is pi r, so we can write it as 2Q by 4 pi epsilon naught into 1 by pi r square, that is 9 into 10 power 9 into 2Q by pi r square. The field is directed away from the center as the charge is positive. Field due to larger semicircle E1 equal to 9 into 10 power 9 2Q by pi r square towards right. Field due to the smaller semicircle E2 equal to 9 into 10 power 9 into 2Q by pi small r square towards left. The net electric field 9 into 10 power 9 2Q by pi 1 by r square minus 1 by capital R square, which comes out to be approximately 301 volt per meter. An electron has its path unchanged when it is passing through a region of electric field E equal to 3.4 into 10 power 4 volt per meter and magnetic field B equal to 2 into 10 power minus 3 Weber per meter square, both perpendicular to each other. However, on switching off the electric field, the electron moves along a circular path. What is the radius of the circular path? Specific charge of the electron Q by m equal to 1.76 into 10 power 11 coulomb per kg. Speed of the electron in the crossed field V equal to E by B, that is 1.7 into 10 power 7 meter per second. Radius of the circular path followed by the charged particle in transverse magnetic field R equal to mv by bq, that is V by B times Q by m. Put the numerical values to get the radius to be 4.82 into 10 power minus 2 meter. A 1000 microfarad capacitor fully charged to 250 volt discharges through a resistance wire embedded in a thermally insulated block of specific heat 2.5 into 10 power 2 joule per kg Kelvin and mass 0.01 kg. How much is the increase in temperature of the block? Energy stored in the capacitor U equal to half CV square, that is 31.25 joule. Specific heat of the block is 2.5 into 10 power 2 joule per kg Kelvin. Mass is 0.01 kg. Applying conservation of energy, electrostatic potential energy in the capacitor gets converted into heat energy in the resistor, which in turn heats the block. So, Q equal to ms delta T or delta theta, from which we have delta theta equal to Q by ms, which is 12.5 Kelvin. Two bodies A and B hanging in air are tied to the ends of a string which passes over a frictionless pulley. The masses of the string and the pulley are negligible and the masses of the two bodies are 2 kg and 3 kg respectively. Body A moves upwards under a force equal to common acceleration of the system A equal to mb minus ma by mb plus ma into g, which is 2 meter per second square. Tension in the string 2 m1 m2 by m1 plus m2 into g, which is 24 Newton. Object A is moving up with an acceleration of 2 meter per second square. So the resultant force on A, F net equal to T minus mg, that is 24 minus 20, 4 Newton. An object placed at a distance of 10 cm from a coaxial combination of two lenses A and B. The combination forms a real image 3 times the size of the object. If lens B is concave with a focal length of 30 cm, then the focal length of lens A is effective focal length of the combination 1 by capital F equal to 1 by f1 plus 1 by f2. Magnification of the image M equal to I by O, that is V by U, equal to 3, from where we get V equal to 3U. Applying lens formula 1 by V minus 1 by U equal to 1 by F, 1 by 3U plus 1 by U equal to 1 by F, from which we get F equal to 7.5 cm. Focal length of the lens B, F2 equal to minus 30 cm. So the focal length of lens A is obtained from lens combination formula to be 6 cm. Two concave refracting surfaces of equal radii of curvature face each other in air as shown in figure. A point object O is placed midway between the center and one of the poles. Then the separation between the image of O formed by each refracting surface is: first surface U equal to R by 2, N2 equal to 1.5 and N1 equal to 1. Refraction at the spherical surface 1, N2 by V minus N1 by U equal to N2 minus N1 by R, that is 1.5 by V plus 2 by R equal to 1.5 minus 1 by minus R, which gives us V equal to minus 3R by 5. For the second surface U equal to 3R by 2, N2 equal to 1.5 and N1 equal to 1. Refraction at the spherical surface 2, N2 by V minus N1 by U equal to N2 minus N1 by R, that is 1.5 by V plus 2 by 3R equal to 1.5 minus 1 by minus R, which gives us V equal to minus 9R by 7. Separation between the two images is 2R minus 3R by 5 plus 9R by 7, which is 0.114R. A ray of white light falls on an isosceles prism such that the red light leaves the prism perpendicular to the other face of the prism. Find the angle of deviation if the refractive index of the prism for red light is 1.37 and the refracting angle of the prism is 45 degree. Applying Snell's law at the point of incidence, n1 sin theta 1 equal to n2 sin theta 2, 1 into sin I equal to 1.37 into sin 45, which gives us I equal to sin inverse 0.968, which is 75.61 degree. Angle of deviation delta equal to I plus E minus A, that is 75.61 plus 0 minus 45, which is 30 degrees 37 minutes. The voltage between terminals of a battery is 6 volt. When a wire is connected across its terminals, it falls to 5.6 volts. If one more identical wire is connected between the terminals, then it falls to. EMF of the discharging cell E equal to V plus IR, that is E minus V equal to V by capital R into small r, which gives us small r equal to E minus V by V into capital R. Here capital R is external resistance and small r is internal resistance. So the internal resistance of the cell remains constant in all situations. So we can write small r equal to 6 minus 5.6 by 5.6 into capital R when one wire is connected. R equal to 6 minus V by V into R by 2 when both wires are connected to the cell. From the above equations, we can write 4 by 56 R equal to 6 minus V by V into R by 2, which gives us V equal to 5.25 volt. Water is siphoned out from a tank at a higher level into another identical size 2 meter below. The length of the siphon tube is 4 meter and each of its ends is below the water surface by 10 centimeter. In the upper tank, the water level is at 1 meter and in the lower one it is at 50 centimeters from the bases of the respective tanks. Water through this siphon rises in 40 centimeters of the length of the tube to a level which is 20 centimeters higher than the water level in the upper tank before it begins to flow down. Assume the values of atmospheric pressure and acceleration due to gravity to be 103.4 kilopascal and 10 meter per second square. The pressure at the cross section of the tube at the highest point is. Applying equation of continuity between A and B, we have A1 V1 equal to A2 V2, that is between A and B. Since the cross sectional area of the tube is constant, so the velocities will be same. Pressure at A is PA equal to P0 plus rho GH, that is P0 plus rho G into 10 units. Potential energy per unit volume at A is rho GH. It is rho G into minus 10 units. We have taken O as the reference level for potential energy calculation. Potential energy per unit volume at B is rho GH, that is rho G into 20. Applying Bernoulli's equation, P plus rho GH plus half rho V square equal to constant, that is PA minus 10 rho G plus half rho V square equal to PB plus 20 rho G plus half rho V square. The half rho V square term gets cancelled out on both sides. By putting the value of PA and simplifying, we get pressure at B to be 101.4 kilopascal. The impedance of RL circuit given in the adjacent figure is expressed by the relation Z square equal to A square plus B square. Then the dimensions of AB are. Impedance of RL network Z square equal to A square plus B square, that is Z equal to root of R square plus XL square. A is resistance, that is V by I. B is inductive reactance, that is V by I again. So the dimensions of AB is ml square t power minus 3 I power minus 2 multiplied with ml square t power minus 3 I power minus 2, which comes out to be m square L power 4 I power minus 4 t power minus 6. A micrometer screw gauge with pitch of 0.5 mm and 50 divisions on the circular scale is used to measure the diameter of a thin wire initially. When the gap is closed, the fourth division coincides with the reference line. Three readings show 46th, 48th and 44th division coinciding with the reference line, which is beyond 0.5 mm of the main scale. The best measured value is. Pitch of the screw is 0.5 mm. Number of divisions on the circular scale is 50. So the least count of the screw gauge is pitch of the screw by number of divisions on circular scale, which is 0.01 mm. Main scale reading is 0.5 mm. Zero error is plus 4 into 0.01, that is plus 0.04 mm. Circular scale reading is 46 plus 48 plus 44 by 3, that is 46. So the reading of the screw gauge is PSR plus HSR into LC minus 0 correction. Since the 0 error is positive, the 0 correction would be negative. So the diameter D equal to 0.5 plus 46 into 0.01 minus 0.04, which comes out to be 0.92 mm. In a meter bridge experiment, the resistance to be measured is connected in the right gap and a known resistance is connected in the left gap has a value of 50 plus or minus 0.2 ohm when the null point is judged to be at 60 plus or minus 0.2 centimeter. The student notes that the ends of the bridge are not at 0.0 centimeter and 100.0 centimeter of the scale and makes a guess that they may be somewhere within 0.2 centimeter beyond the scale ends. The value of the unknown resistance should be expressed as known resistance R equal to 50 plus or minus 0.2 ohm. Null point from the left end L1 equal to 60 plus or minus 0.2 centimeter. Null point from the right end L2 equal to 40 plus or minus 0.2 centimeter. The unknown resistance X equal to R times 100 minus L by L, that is 50 into 40 by 60, 100 by 3, the ideal value. Unknown resistance X equal to R times L2 by L1. Applying log on both sides and differentiating, we get log X equal to log R plus log L2 minus log L1. Delta X by X equal to delta R by R plus delta L2 by L2 plus delta L1 by L1, from where we have delta X equal to X times 0.2 by 50, 0.2 by 40 plus 0.2 by 60, ultimately which comes out to be 0.411. So the unknown resistance is X plus or minus delta X, that is 33.4 plus or minus 0.5 ohm. A body A revolves along a circular orbit close to the Earth's surface. Body B oscillates along an imaginary straight tunnel drilled through the Earth, whereas another body C through a similar longest tunnel. Let TA, TB and TC be the corresponding periods of revolution or oscillation then. Time period of revolution of a satellite T equal to 2 pi root R cube by GM. Here small r equal to radius of the Earth plus height. When the satellite is close to the surface, we can write small r equal to capital R. Time period of the revolution of the satellite thus becomes TA equal to 2 pi root R cube by GM, which is 2 pi root R by G, where small g equal to GM by R square. When a body is dropped into a tunnel made along any part of the Earth, it undergoes SHM with a time period of 2 pi root R by G. So, the option C is correct. The vibrations of a string of length 100 cm and fixed at both ends are represented by the equation y equal to 2 sin pi x by 10 cos 50 pi t. Then the equation of the component waves whose superposition gives that above vibrations are. Equation of the stationary wave y equal to 2a sin kx cos omega t. Given stationary wave is of the form y equal to 2 sin pi x by 10 cos 50 pi t. Here k equal to pi by 10 and omega equal to 50 pi. Amplitude of the wave 2a equal to 2, from which you get a equal to 1 unit. Y equal to 2a sin kx cos omega t. That can be written as a sin kx plus omega t plus a sin kx minus omega t from trigonometric identities. So the component waves are y equal to sin pi x by 10 plus 50 pi t and sin pi x by 10 minus 50 pi t. Hot coffee in a mug cools from 90 degrees centigrade to 70 degrees centigrade in 4.8 minutes. The room temperature is 20 degrees centigrade. Applying Newton's law of cooling, the time needed to cool it further by 10 degrees centigrade should be nearly. Newton's law of cooling, d theta by dt equal to k times theta average minus theta naught. That is 90 minus 70 by 4.8 equal to k times 90 plus 70 by 2 minus 20, from which we get k equal to 1 by 14.4. Applying the same formula for the second leg, 70 minus 60 by t equal to k times 70 plus 60 by 2 minus 20, from where we have t equal to 3.2 minutes. A sinusoidal voltage of amplitude 15 volt is connected between the input terminals of a circuit as shown in figure. Assume that the diodes are ideal in the output waveform. Positive peaks of the input will be clipped to plus 12 volts and negative peaks will be clipped to minus 6 volts. Positive peaks of the input will be clipped to plus 6 volts and negative peaks will be clipped to minus 12 volts. Positive peaks of the input will be clipped to plus 12 volts and negative peaks will be clipped to minus 12 volts. Positive peaks of the input will be clipped to plus 6 volts and negative peaks will be clipped to minus 6 volts. For positive half cycle of the input supply, D1 is forward biased and D2 is reverse biased. So 12 volt battery will be connected across the output. For negative half cycle, D1 is reverse biased and D2 is forward biased. So 6 volts battery will be connected to the output. So option A is correct. Correlate a physicist among PQR to an appropriate physicist among LMN. Let us pay a tribute to them. List A, Louis de Broglie, Max Planck, Christian Huygens. List B, Davison Germer, James Clerk Maxwell, Arthur H. Compton. Let us see how they are related. Louis de Broglie and Davison Germer are related because wave nature of matter was proposed by Louis de Broglie, which was proved experimentally by Davison and Germer experiments. Max Planck and Arthur H. Compton are related. Max Planck proposed quantum nature of radiation, which was experimentally demonstrated by Compton in Compton effect experiment. Christian Huygens and James Clerk Maxwell are related. Huygens developed wave nature of light, which was later modified as electromagnetic wave theory by Maxwell. In a circuit carrying an alternating current, magnetic field around it oscillates with a frequency of the current. Heat is generated with double the frequency of the magnetic field. Voltage across the circuit is proportional to the rate of change of magnetic flux around it. The current always lags in phase behind the applied voltage. Let the supply voltage be V equal to V0 sin omega t, that is V0 sin 2 pi f t. Current through the circuit I equal to I0 sin omega t plus or minus phi, that is I0 sin 2 pi f t plus or minus phi, where phi is phase constant. Magnetic flux in the inductor phi b equal to L into I, that is L I0 sin 2 pi f t plus or minus phi. Heat generated in the resistive part of the network H equal to I square RT, that is I0 sin 2 pi f t plus or minus phi whole square RT, from where we get I0 square RT times sin square 2 pi f t plus or minus 5. So H equal to I0 square RT half minus half cos 2 times 2 pi f t plus or minus 5. From the two expressions we can see options A and B are correct. The stress exerted by vehicles on the central part of the bridge with convex curvature will be more than that at the ends, same as that at the ends, less than that at the ends, decreases in proportion to the square of speed of the vehicle. From the free body diagram of the vehicle on the convex road, we can write mv square by r equal to mg cos theta minus n, which gives us n equal to mg cos theta minus mv square by r. Stress exerted by the vehicle on the road is nothing but n. Cos theta is a decreasing function. As the vehicle approaches the central part of the road, theta decreases and cos theta increases. So the normal reaction, that is a stress exerted by the vehicle on the road, also increases. So it is option A. A cylindrical vessel filled with water is connected by a narrow pipe at its bottom to another identical empty vessel. Then potential energy of water is proportional to the square of height of its level. 3/4 of the potential energy is lost when water flow stops. Half of the potential energy is lost when levels in both vessels are same. Loss in potential energy is equal to the rise in thermal energy. Consider two cylindrical vessels of area of cross section A. Potential energy of the liquid U initial equal to mgh, that is volume into density into G h by 2, because for extended objects we take height from center of gravity, that is Ah rho g h by 2, that is A rho g by 2 h square. So the potential energy of water is proportional to square of height. Option A is correct. Volume of the liquid remains same, so we can write AH equal to AH1 plus AH2, that is H equal to H1 plus H2. Since both the vessels are open to atmosphere, the liquids stand to the same height in both the vessels. So H equal to 2H dash from where H dash equal to H by 2. Final potential energy of the liquid U final equal to m by 2 into Gh by 4 plus m by 2 into Gh by 4, that is mgh by 4 A rho g by 4 H square. Loss in potential energy delta U equal to U initial minus U final, which comes out to be A rho g by 4 H square. So half of potential energy is lost when the levels in both the vessels are same. Applying conservation of energy, loss in potential energy should appear in some form of energy. Here, since the liquid remains stationary in the vessel, it does not attain any kinetic energy. So the loss in potential energy should appear in the form of thermal energy. The deviation produced by a prism depends on, see the diagram carefully, angle of deviation is given by delta equal to I plus sine mu sine A minus sine inverse sine I by mu minus A. The derivation of this formula is available in any standard book. So, angle of deviation depends on angle of incidence and refracting angle and refractive index of the material. Applying Cauchy's formula for refractive index, we can write mu equal to A plus B by lambda square. So the refractive index depends on wavelength. So all options are correct. Consider 9 identical resistances arranged as shown in figure. In this arrangement, electric current enters the node A and leaves from node D. Let VAD equal to 5 volt and IBE equal to 3 milliampere. Therefore, given current in BE equal to 3 milliampere, the currents in other branches are as shown in the diagram. Applying KVL along ABED, VA minus R of 3 plus X minus R into 3 minus R into 3 minus VD equal to 0, which gives us VA minus VD equal to X plus 9 of R, that is X plus 9 of R equal to 5. Potential drop along BCD and BED is the same. So XR plus 2XR equal to 3R plus 3R, that is 3XR equal to 6R, from which X equal to 2 milliampere. Current through AB, IAB equal to 3 plus X, that is 5 milliampere. From equation 1, X plus 9 into R equal to 5, that is R equal to 5000 by 11 ohm. Total current entering or leaving the network I equal to 3 plus X plus 3 plus X, that is 6 plus 2X, that is 10 power minus 2 ampere. Applying Ohm's law, I equal to IR, 5 equal to 10 power minus 2 R, that is R equal to 500 ohm. Power dissipated along BCD is X square R plus 4X square R, that is 4 into 10 power minus 6 into 5000 by 11 plus 4 into 10 power minus 6 into 5000 by 11, which comes out to be 100 by 11 milliwatt. Mark the correct statements of the following. A convex mirror forms virtual images for all positions of the object. A concave mirror forms real images for all positions of the object. A concave mirror can form a virtual magnified image. The magnification produced by convex mirror is always less than unity. Let us analyze the statements one by one. A convex mirror is a diverging mirror. It diverges the incident light rays coming from the object, and a virtual image is formed when the diverging light rays are extended backwards. So statement A is correct. A concave mirror can form virtual magnified image when the object is placed between focal point and pole. So statement B is wrong. A concave mirror can form virtual magnified image when the object is placed between focal point and pole. So option C is correct. The image distance is always less than the object distance, thus making the magnification less than unity. The case of convex mirror. So option D is correct. A solid cylindrical conductor of radius A and charge Q is coaxial with a cylindrical shell of negligible thickness, radius B, which is greater than A, and a charge minus Q. The capacitance of this cylindrical capacitor per unit length is proportional to electric field intensity at a distance r, E equal to 1 by 2 pi epsilon naught lambda by r. Potential difference between the two surfaces, dV equal to minus EdR, that is integral dV from VA to VB equal to integral a to b minus 1 by 2 pi epsilon naught lambda by r dr. Vb minus Va equal to minus lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught integral a to b 1 by r dr. Upon simplification, that comes out to be lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught ln b by a. Charge on the capacitor q equal to c delta v, that is lambda L equal to c times lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught ln b by a, which gives us c equal to 2 pi epsilon naught L by ln b by a. So the capacitance per unit length C by L equal to 2 pi epsilon naught by ln b by a, that is C by L is proportional to 1 by ln b by a, which also can be written as 1 by ln b minus ln a. So options C and D are correct. Mark the correct statements of the following. In case of liquids, the boiling point increases with the pressure for all liquids. In case of solids, the melting point decreases with the pressure for all solids. In case of ice, the melting point decreases with pressure. In case of ice, the melting point increases with pressure. When the saturation vapor pressure becomes equal to the external pressure, the liquid starts boiling. The constant temperature at which boiling takes place is known as boiling point. As the pressure on the surface of the liquid increases, its boiling point increases. As water freezes to form ice, it expands due to the presence of hydrogen bonds. In the case of those substances that expand on freezing, melting point decreases with increase in pressure. So options A and C are correct. The electric potential in volts in a region along x-axis varies with the x coordinate according to the relation Vx equal to 5 plus 4x square, where x is in meter. Therefore, electric potential Vx equal to 5 plus 4x square, delta V equal to V of minus 3 minus V of 1, that is 41 minus 9, 32 volt. Here we found the potential difference between points x equal to 1 and x equal to minus 3. Electric field intensity E equal to minus dV by dx, that is minus d by dx of 5 plus 4x square, which is minus 8x. Electrical force on the charged particle F equal to EQ, that is minus 8xq. Force on the charged particle at x equal to minus 1, that is F of minus 1 is 8 Newton. Force on the charged particle is in the direction of field for positive charge. A homogeneous bar of length L and mass m situated at a distance h from a particle of mass small m as shown. The gravitational force exerted by the bar on the particle varies inversely as. Consider an elemental length dx of the bar at a distance x from the point mass. Mass of the element dm equal to lambda dx, that is m by L dx. Force between point mass and elemental mass df equal to g times m dm by x square, that is g times m into m by L dx by x square. Total force between the point mass and the bar F equal to integral df, that is integral h to h plus L gm m by L dx by x square. Upon carrying out the integration, we find F is proportional to 1 by h of h plus L. F equal to g times capital M small m by h of h plus L. Gmm by, take h common, it is h square of 1 plus L by h, that is gmm by h square, provided L is very much less than h. So we get F is proportional to 1 by h square. So options C and D are correct. A particle is moving in positive x direction with its velocity varying as v equal to alpha root x. Assume that at t equal to 0, the particle was located at x equal to 0. Determine the time dependence of velocity, acceleration, the mean velocity of the particle averaged over the time that the particle takes to cover the first s meter of its path. Velocity of the particle v equal to alpha root x, dx by dt equal to alpha root x, from which 1 by root x dx equal to alpha dt. So the displacement of the particle integral 0 to x, 1 by root x dx equal to integral 0 to t alpha dt, from which we get x equal to alpha square t square by 4. Velocity of the particle v equal to dx by dt, that is alpha square 2t by 4. So v equal to half alpha square t. Acceleration of the particle a equal to dv by dt, that is d by dt of half alpha square t, which comes out to be half alpha square. velocity of the particle v equal to alpha root x. V initial is alpha root 0, that is 0. V final is alpha root s. So mean velocity over distance s is v initial plus v final by 2, that is 0 plus alpha root s by 2, which comes out to be alpha root s by 2. Two identical metal spheres of density rho having equal and similar charges are supported from a common point by means of a silk thread of length L and negligible mass. The two threads make an angle 2 theta 1 with each other when in equilibrium in air. When the same system is immersed in a dielectric liquid of density sigma, then the angular separation changes to 2 theta 2. Then find the relative permittivity of the liquid in terms of rho, sigma, theta 1 and theta 2. In case of the angular separation remaining unchanged even on immersing the system in dielectric liquid, find the expression for epsilon r. For equilibrium of the particle in horizontal direction, t sin theta 1 equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q square by r square. In vertical direction, t cos theta 1 equal to mg. So tan theta 1 equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q square by r square mg, which is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q square by 4l square sin square theta 1 mg. So tan theta 1 sin square theta 1 equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q square by 4l square mg. Writing mass in terms of volume and density, it is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q square by 4l square v rho g. When the particle is immersed in liquid, for equilibrium, vertical direction t dash cos theta 2 equal to mg minus fb, that is v rho g minus v sigma g, that is vg of rho minus sigma. For horizontal direction, t dash sin theta 2 equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon r epsilon naught q square by r square. Tan theta 2 equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon r epsilon naught q square by r square vg rho minus sigma, that is 1 by 4 pi epsilon r epsilon naught q square by 4l square sin square theta 2v rho minus sigma into g. Cross multiplying, we get tan theta 2 sin square theta 2 equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon r epsilon naught q square by 4l square v rho minus sigma into g. Taking the ratio of the two expressions, tan theta 1 sin square theta 1 by tan theta 2 sin square theta 2 equal to epsilon r times 1 minus sigma by rho. If the angular separation remains the same, theta 1 equal to theta 2, then epsilon r equal to rho by rho minus sigma. The plane side of a thin plano-convex lens is silvered so that the lens acts as a concave mirror of focal length 40 cm. The material of the lens has a refractive index of 1.5. Determine the radius of curvature of the curved surface. Refractive index of the lens is 1.5. Focal length of the concave mirror is 40 cm. Applying silvered lens formula, 1 by f equal to 2 times mu2 by mu1 by r2 minus 2 times mu2 by mu1 minus 1 by r1. Here r1 is radius of curvature of unsilvered surface, r2 is radius of curvature of silvered surface, mu1 is refractive index of the surrounding medium, and mu2 is refractive index of the lens material. So putting these values, 1 by f equal to 0 minus 2 times 1.5 minus 1 by r, which gives r equal to minus 40 cm. Light falls on one end of a cylindrical glass rod at an angle alpha. Determine the smallest refractive index that the glass may have so that the light after entering the rod does not leave it through its curved surface, irrespective of the value of alpha. For total internal reflection at n, mu equal to 1 by sin c. Applying Snell's law at m, 1 into sin 90 minus alpha equal to mu sin 90 minus c, that is cos alpha equal to mu cos c. So cos alpha equal to mu times root of 1 minus sin square c, that is mu times root of 1 minus 1 by mu square, which is root of mu square minus 1. Cos alpha equal to root of mu square minus 1, which gives mu equal to root of cos square alpha plus 1. For minimum value of mu, cos alpha should be minimum, which is minus 1. So mu minimum equal to root of minus 1 whole square plus 1 square, that is root 2. A cyclic process is indicated in the following PV diagram. In the initial state A, the temperature, pressure and volume of the system are 300 Kelvin, 1 atmosphere and 1000 cc. In the first process AB, adiabatic expansion increases the volume to 2000 cc. This is followed by an isobaric compression to reduce the volume of the gas to 1000 cc. The gas is brought back to initial state by isobaric process. The system is 1 mole of monoatomic gas. Find the pressure and temperature at state B and C. Calculate the work done in adiabatic and isobaric processes. Calculate the work done in the cyclic process and the amount of energy supplied to the system. Calculate the efficiency of the cyclic process. 1 mole of monoatomic ideal gas is taken. So Cv equal to 3 by 2 R, Cp equal to 5 by 2 R, gamma is 5 by 3, that is 1.66. AB is adiabatic expansion. So PV power gamma equal to constant. P1 V1 power gamma equal to P2 V2 power gamma. 1 into 1000 power gamma equal to P2 into 2000 power gamma, which gives us P2 equal to 0.32 atmosphere. Temperature at A is 300 Kelvin. Temperature at B, TV power gamma minus 1 equal to constant. 300 1000 power gamma minus 1 equal to T2 2000 power gamma minus 1, which gives us T2 equal to 190 Kelvin. So the temperature at C, VB by VC equal to TB by TC, which gives us TC equal to 95 Kelvin. Work done in adiabatic process, WAB equal to NR by gamma minus 1 of T1 minus T2, that is WAB equal to 1 into 8.314 by 1.66 minus 1 of 300 minus 190, which is 1385.6 joule. Work done in isobaric process, W equal to P delta V, that is 0.32 into 1.013 into 10 power 5 into 2000 minus 1000 into 10 power minus 6, which is 31.4 joule. Work done in isochoric process is 0. The total work done in the cyclic process is 1385.6 minus 31.4, that is 1354.2 joule. Energy supplied to the system is QCA, that is NCV dt 1 into 3 by 2 R into 205, which is 2556.5 joule. So the efficiency of the cycle, work done by energy input 1354.2 by 2556.5 into 100, that is 53%. A 750 Hz 20 volt source is connected to a resistance of 100 ohm, a capacitor 1 microfarad and an inductor of 0.18 Henry in series. Calculate the following quantities. Impedance of the circuit. Draw an impedance diagram with suitable scale, power factor, the time in which the resistance will get heated by 10 degrees centigrade, provided that the thermal capacity of the resistance is 2 joule per degree centigrade. You can see the circuit diagram and the corresponding phasor diagram. Impedance of the circuit Z equal to root of R square plus XL minus XC whole square, that is root of 100 square plus 848.2 minus 212.2 whole square, which is 643.8 ohm, that is approximately 644 ohm. Power factor of the circuit cos phi equal to R by Z, that is 100 by 643.8, that is 0.155, so phi equal to 81 degrees. Heat required to raise the temperature of the resistor Q equal to Ms delta T, that is 2 into 10, that is 20 joule. Current through the resistor I equal to V by Z, 20 by 644.03 ampere. So the heat produced in the resistor Q equal to I square RT, that equal to 20. So 9 into 10 power minus 4 into 100 into T equal to 20, which gives us T equal to 207.4 seconds.